to be a silent structure that dictates how women should navigate the society. While many women do not conform to this, it comes with name tagging and sometimes name shaming. Some women are speaking up about this, which is applaudable, but some men are yet to join the conversation. It shows that there is still room for more work to be done. Welcome to Why Women Roundtable Conversation powered by Knorr for International Women's Month. I'm Tomike Adeoye, your host. Welcome to the show. It's impossible to have power conversations without power women. So join me as we welcome the power women on today's episode. Yay! Yay. I have Olufisayo Bakare, cultural gatekeeper.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank
I love that our shirt is in sync.
Vibing.
Yes. And we have Tele Aino, founder Waziki Life. Welcome, Tele.
Thank
It's
you.
a pleasure having you on the show. We have Moe Abebe, media personality, Sound City TV and radio. Welcome, Moe. It's a pleasure to meet you in person. And we have Sumbo Adeoye, founder Inspiring Change Initiative. Welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Excited. And of course, we can't have our conversations without our soup. And so it's time to welcome Chef Emeka. We're ready.
Another episode.
Hello, Chef.
So this episode, I have a lovely corn and coconut soup.
Ooh,
Marinated, some prawns, a naturally tasty Knorr.
looks good.
Knorr, it's very nice soup. I hope you enjoy. So it's got some sweet corn. It's got some corn on the cob that was charred. We've got some peas in there. Obviously some coconut milk that was freshly milled. So I hope you enjoy.
Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you.
Dive in.
A little bit.
It's good.
Very nice. I feel like we always set our guests up because we first wet your tummy. So you have no excuse not to talk. So are we ready? It's a good bribe. Great. So are we ready for the power conversation? All right, diving straight right into it. I mean, being a woman in the society, there are several things that the society expect of you. Society literally teaches you how to dress. Oh, she's a woman. Why is she wear that kind? Why is she wearing this trouser? Why is she wearing all of this? And any woman who decides to not conform to all of this, which I believe many of us on this table seated right here today are those women, and which is why we've brought you here. I mean, the woman becomes tagged as irresponsible or not a good woman, or she doesn't know how to act and all of. I mean, even in traffic, if someone hits you and you calm down, next thing you hear is, now woman should be now.
Yeah.
Because, like, they don't expect you to have a right to talk or anything. So how do you relate to all of this in your daily lives? How does this affect you as a person?
Well, me personally, as you said, I am such a rebel. I'm like, like when people ask me, I never know where to say it started, how, why. I really don't know why. But I just think I've always just had this sort of personality where if you tell me to go left, I may go left, but I would just want to know what's on the right. So I feel like with most of all these statements and with most of, you know, the sort of things that mostly coming from men towards women like me who don't conform, I look at it as I'm clearly doing something right. Because if I'm not going to get you to talk and also sort of like disagree or just, you know, shake you up a little, shake the table a little, then I don't think I'm being my way a bit.
I feel it's a cultural script, basically, because how you appear is based on your cultural belief. For example, if you're in an office, there's a culture as to how to appear. I see Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala wear our African prints with our headgear gorgeously to our office, and I saw that debate. People were saying, oh, can she dress like this in Africa or in Nigeria? And I'm saying, no, there has to be a culture that accepts you for who you are. I can say be modest in your dressing, but your own explanation of modesty is based on your personality.
True.
Yeah. And I would like to say that, look, for me, I look at, you know, what works for me, right? What am I trying to achieve? You know, what does that day look like? As long as I'm doing it for myself, you know, I don't actually care what other people are saying. So I think if you have that sort of focus or that sort of mindset, then, you know, I don't care if you think I'm non-conformist.
Right. I think my personality speaks through. Everything I've always done has a streak of my personality as a signature. And so I really don't look at the outside world. I don't look at culture. I don't look at my parents. I don't look at my upbringing to dictate what makes me feel comfortable. And usually, because I grew up in a very closed-off setting, I had to kind of find my own self within the confines of that bubble. And I guess I found my own signature, my own voice. The way I am in the world is kind of my own interpretation of how I want to be and how I want to be perceived. So it's not really, I'm very much like Mo in the sense that you can't really tell me what to do and what to wear.
But has it always been like this? I mean,
100%.
Or was it that you had to learn to, you know, just ignore the noise in the background? Because, I mean, you being a media personality, you are in the public light. Everything you wear, they talk. If you wear these earrings, they're like, oh, it's too big. Why did she wear it? If you wear it, they say, oh, why is she wearing off shoulder? Why is she wearing this? Why are nails long? What? How do you manage to listen to all of that noise and be you and go on TV, do you, and bring what you have to bring to the table? Because some people would even judge you before they even listen to you. And then they say, she's not even a bad presenter. Be like, say she. But how do you get to that point where they now even listen to what you have to say? Did you have to master it over time?
I feel like I had to master it over time. I remember when I moved back in 2012. And when I moved back, I remember I had like this mohawk, my hair was shaved, I had this strong British accent, I had long nails. I must have really looked like, who is this? But then I noticed that those questions were in fact actually what still has made me still relevant. You've got to give these people things to talk about. You've got to, for you to actually remain consistent and most importantly remain relevant in my industry. So as soon as I got into the industry, I realized that this is what people like to talk about when it comes to me.
Right.
How can I milk it? That it's not that I'm too, that I'm selling myself out too much, but I am really and truly being me. And I realized that there's no better version of myself than me. No one can do me better than me. So all I've literally just done is just do me. And if that comes with controversy,
It's okay.
so be
There's
it.
no bad publicity.
I've been looking at you from across the way, and I think about you almost every day. Now I think that I must have a crush on you. I hope that you feel it too. Paradise is waiting for us, so take my hand. You and me, la la land. Ooh.
It's the natural ingredients and rich flavor of Knorr that brings people together.
But how do you think men can join these conversations? I mean, we have a few online who decide to stand up every time that, you know, society changes the entire conversation, but it's just a handful. I mean, it's always women I see in such conversations. So what do you think, you know, we can do to encourage men to join these conversations, or maybe if they have a better understanding of it?
Yeah, I feel that the men that don't talk about it are actually the biggest problem that we have. You see, when a woman talks about what is right, they tag her as being difficult. But she's not difficult. She's just knowledgeable enough to know what is acceptable in saner climes. You see, the culture of silencing women is something that is not written but is practiced, especially in Nigeria, in Africa. So if men start speaking up before it comes close to home, maybe then the others can learn and know that this is something that is a huge problem. You see, you know, a woman can work as a carpenter and a woman can work as a pilot. When you step out, they shouldn't say, a female pilot, I hope you don't crash this plane. No, it shouldn't be like that. So when she speaks up, she shouldn't be seen as a difficult pilot. She should be seen as an assertive and someone who has gotten there by merit.
Yes. I'm a firm believer that well-behaved women hardly ever make history. And so it is important. Yeah, it's important to have your mic and have your own podium because no one's going to give it to you.
Yes. Sure.
Just like they're not going to build the table for you, you have to take opportunities wherever you deem fit. No one's going to give you your voice. No one's going to give you the microphone or the podium. So you have to find that for yourself.
So I think, sorry.
No, please go ahead.
So I think silence encourages, bad behavior.
Yes, it
So
does.
for
Actually,
people, when things happen, I know sometimes it's hard for you to think, I don't want people to know my story. I don't want to know I was raped yesterday. I don't want them to think I'm dirty or, whatever. But the truth is that when you come out and tell people, it makes even the opposite sex understand what it is that it feels like, right? And it also empowers other ladies to speak about the same, right? Because when we're all quiet, we are all sort of, repressed. We're all kept in this dark box where we're just sort of solo and we think, look, I'm the only one going through this, I don't want to make too much noise, right? But I think we should just encourage women to speak up. We should encourage our husbands also to speak up about our experiences. I suffer from endometriosis, right? And a lot of people don't even know what that is. When my husband and I got married, he would see me in pain and he would be like, look, my sister never went through this. So sometimes I think we should also give them a bit of a break in that they're men. They have no idea what we go through on a monthly basis. So educating them, I think, is also quite important.
Can I just add to that?
Yes.
I feel like I love this whole conversation. I love that we're speaking about women. But it's quite interesting that I also feel that our society doesn't do enough talking about men.
I agree.
We don't have things like this for men.
Right.
When we do have a table of men, it's not to discuss things like this. It's to discuss, how they are doing as men, as opposed to how they are, being good men to or good women for women.
Exactly.
So I feel like, as you said, more education needs to be done, and that even starts from our parents, our mothers. I feel like our mothers also over time have spoiled the male child. They have spoiled them. They haven't trained them well enough to know things about consent, know things about feminism, just know certain things. And right now I feel like the young men are now learning on the spot. So as you said, we need to encourage them. We need to actually, not necessarily fully cut them some slack, but just understand that, it's a different climate and they are also just learning.
Exactly.
Women out there are going through so much pain. But like you said, they're like, if I say it, will they believe me? If I say, even those who are saying it, some people are still saying, are you sure she doesn't want attention? I mean, why would I want attention by speaking my truth? What I want is justice. What I want is for another woman not to go through what I've been through. I just wrote a memoir titled Refurbished, Hope for a Fresh Start, and I put my story there. I put my story and say, if I can come out of this and not smell like smoke, you can go into that fire, come out of it and still not smell like smoke.
Awesome. The conversation is really getting heated. And I'm loving it, but we have to go on a quick break and we'll be right back in a jiffy.
I've been looking at you from across the way, and I think about you almost every day. Now I think that I must have a crush on you. I hope that you feel it too. Paradise is waiting for us, so take my hand. You and me, la la land.
It's the natural ingredients and rich flavor of Knorr that brings people together.
Welcome back. You're still watching Why Women Roundtable Conversation powered by Knorr, and it's time for the next thing on our menu. Are you ready?
Yes, I am. Big
You guys
foodie that I
enjoyed
am.
the first course.
We did.
So I have a little snack
Wow.
for you. Little snack. So I've got some salmon. I made some couscous. Obviously, I made some naturally tasty stock using some flour and to make the couscous. Some nice veggies there. Make some roast potatoes there, and finish it off with a burnt butter sauce with some chilies in it and some Knorr, naturally tasty.
I can't wait to get started.
So
Presentation is,
Everything.
Yes, presentation is on point.
Yes.
I hope you enjoy.
Yes, we will.
All right, bon appetit, ladies.
Thank
you. 3, 2.
Let's
Going
dive
down.
in.
Action.
I love
supposed to be on the Fit Family. COVID is the number one.
the number never.
I know, right?
But I'm
Still
just
doing the
embracing it.
number
Okay.
on some of us.
Everybody has COVID with it. So
I pass.
Okay, moving back into the conversation. You see, there are always conversations on what we wear as women. I don't know if it's because we always look good And then they're like, why should she be allowed to wear that? And maybe because men have just up and down to wear, they don't have like a wide range or a wide variety of clothes to wear. But there's always this conversation of what she's wearing every time a woman walks into a room. Now, how do we move past these conversations of what she's wearing to what she's bringing to the table? I mean, I think it's tiring to see that. When you enter, the first thing is, okay, before you even get a chance to speak. So how do we move past these conversations?
It's a perception. And we need to start changing that narrative. When a woman walks in, it shouldn't be a figure or a sex that speaks to you. It's our confidence. I would advise that every woman should always seek to look confident in whatever it is that they wish to appear in. And then when you step into the room, forget how sexy you look and just bring to the table what you have by merit.
For me, on social media, I was very intentional on my platform, The Yellow of Lagos. Shameless plug. I was very intentional not to put my face because I wanted the word to speak for itself. So for about 2 years, no one knew who was behind the brand. Just because, me too, I know say I fine, right? And I didn't want that to be a determining factor on what I was bringing to the table because it's not really about me, it's about the messaging. And that's how I've been able to kind of show the work first before showing myself. And that's, I don't know, that's how I was able to do it. But when it comes to work in the workplace, I'm in a very male-dominated industry, so I'm a practicing interior architect as well as all the other things I do, which is why I call myself a cultural enthusiast or an entrepreneur. Yeah, a custodian, a gatekeeper. A lot of men are at site, right? I'm always at site, and it's engineers, you know, the clients and stuff. And so my voice has to be louder, it has to be more assertive, it has to be very ignorant of the ignorance that constantly happens, because they will have very sexist comments. And you want to make sure you nip it in the bud so that they don't think they can try it again the next time. And so with things like that, I make sure that I'm very muted when I'm dressed, because first of all, I'm at site. There's no time to be wearing heels at site. It's practical. And secondly, it's whenever they find cause for a sexist remark, I shut it down. And it's very embarrassing for you to be shut down in front of your peers as well. So that's how I do it in the real world.
That's very practical.
Well, for me, you know, obviously the work we do, TV, is quite a tough one. Because it's all really about what people see. So you do have to look attractive. You do have to look sexy. And then even at a point you get in your career where, okay, this is what your brand is. So if you have identified more with a sexy brand, then that's in a sense what you may continue.
Right.
But what I always tell people, and that's why I absolutely love radio, is that radio finally made people actually take me much more seriously.
Right.
Like, it was literally like, oh wow, she has a good voice, she has a good body, she looks good, and she actually knows what she's talking about. And because it's radio, you can't see all of those other distractions. So that's, in a sense, how I've, in a sense, been able to overcome it. And I feel like because people know that I'm actually quite a good speaker, I'm intelligent on radio, I have intelligent conversations. So even when it comes to TV or when it comes to you seeing me in the physical person, and you think that, oh yes, I'm sexy or whatever.
But the intelligent
the main thing is you know that, oh yeah, she's intelligent.
She's a bit work.
Yeah, I think I don't prep for sexiness. I just look at everyone as you know, asexual. You know, everyone is here because women also look at you, right? As much as you see,
which is true.
You know, what is she wearing and all that. So I don't play with those games. Like, I wear whatever I want. If you want to look at my shoes or look at, you know, my top, you know, that's your business. But what I just do is ensure that my work speaks for itself, right? So when I'm going to a conference, I'm ready. I know what I'm doing, what I want to talk about, and I leave all those things at the door. I also try my best not to also, you know, put those have impressions of other women, because I think you also have to catch yourself sometimes. And that's me really.
So I mean, how do we tackle these issues where we have women who have worked so hard to get all the way to the top, and then because it's a woman that is occupying that position, you see comments like, oh, we know how she got there, we know what she did, we know. I'm not saying these things don't happen. I mean, it happens. But it could be really painful when you know how hard you worked to get to that position, and then one person comes to tell you that I know how you got there. So how do we tackle these issues in society?
To be honest, people will always talk.
That's right.
And that's just it. Like, as soon as you brought up this question, I started thinking about, you know, all the Big Brother ladies, how they get these endorsements. Then, you know, recently someone said they bought a house and there was this whole back and forth. It happens all the time. People will talk. In your heart and heart, you know if you did put in work or if you had to lay on your back. So you know what you did. So let that sit with your conscience. That's
I mean, there was even a time where I think someone commented on social media. I think the talk was how Nollywood actresses are. It's okay when we are seeing the women buy this, buy that. Why aren't we seeing the men? Is it our problem that the men are not buying cars?
Honestly,
The funny thing is, I think many of them are even buying, but I think they just don't know how to share as much as women share. So.
And it's not much of a story.
You know, the thing about social
More of
media.
a story when it's a woman. It's like,
The thing about social media is people don't put the behind the scenes struggle. So what you see is the results of the struggle. So people are usually just shocked. Like, when did she get here? Forgetting that there is a behind the scenes.
But I think also as role models, right? I think we also need to do a better job of letting people know that, oh, it's not just, oh, you know, by God or whatever. I didn't just wake up like this, right? It took hours. So I think we also have to do better at explaining our journey to success, right? And talking more about it, as you say, on social media and other avenues.
Piggybacking off of what Tele said, there are missing pages basically in everyone's story, and I think it's important to go back and fill them back in. Because when you're grinding and you're hustling, you kind of forget to document. Or unless you're applying for a new job, you don't really brush up your resume to go back to see what you've done. And so we should make conscious efforts to go back and fit in the narratives that have been missing from our script, and then kind of showcase that to the world. Like, I didn't get here just because I know somebody or I'm connected to someone. This is what I did to get here, and to kind of show that to those that are coming up, because they think it's a lot easier, and they're using very devious schemes to get to where they're going, and their mentors are now, they want their mentors to be their competitors, but then they're not giving the same time, and you can't grow a seed, you can't harvest a seed into, you know, another fruit overnight. There's time that you need to pay up for it, and that needs to be showcased from
I've been very intentional about this. And that's what I do with my platform. That's the Inspiring Change Conference. We bring women who have been able to bridge gender gap in their respective professions dominated by men. We bring them to the conference to come and share their pain, to come and share how they choose. And then the women who look up to them use that platform to be able to draw strength, draw inspiration, and say, if she can't do it, then I can do it also. So I feel if we all share that behind the scenes struggle, and they can connect the dots that this was where she was last year, this is where she is now. I can do it if I put in the work. Then maybe we'd have more girls and more women rise up to that cadence.
On a final note, let us celebrate ourselves as women. I mean, what is the most exciting thing for you about being a woman?
Breaking boundaries. Definitely one of my most favorite things, because it's the things that you say that I cannot do that challenge me the most to actually prove you wrong. And it's not that I'm listening to the dictates of whatever society is saying that I can't do. It's that this is where I'm going. And it's like, well, no one has really trod that path before. For example, I wrote a book that is the first of its kind to be endorsed by Lagos State and the Ministry of Tourism. No one's ever done that. That's history. So, thank you. So breaking boundaries is kind of like my thing.
So for me, I would say having it all, right? Choosing, if I want to have it all, right? I can have children, I can start a business, I can go to work, I can decide I don't want any of those things. Right? So being able to make that choice and, you know, fulfilling it.
I'm happy about being a woman because I see myself as a womb man. Ability to be able to bring to life and then nurture that child to become. I mean, that is amazing. That's like having the same power of the creator. I mean, that is a huge privilege, and I want every woman to see themselves as womb men and know that this guy is actually just the very beginning.
Definitely. I feel the favorite part, or the best part for me being a woman is the fact that I can really just be me. And when I say be me, I mean me in all aspects. Whether it's the rebellious side, whether it's the, because I'm actually quite conservative. Most people may not necessarily know. Do you know what I mean? Like, all of this is just social media. I have very few friends. I'm actually extremely shy. I also think I'm sometimes socially awkward. So, but just the fact that I can actually be allowed to be me, and obviously I'm also somebody that really, I feel I've built my life. Nothing is a bed of roses. So just the fact that being a woman definitely is a struggle. It just sort of just gives you this extra oomph, and I love the fact that I am a woman. Yes, struggling right about now, but I do believe that the future is female.
Actually, I sincerely agree with you. Being a woman is beautiful. It's sweet. I mean, we come up looking glamorous, making all that effort to look good for ourselves.
Yes.
You look at it, it was not for you. But it's for ourselves, and breaking boundaries regardless of how hard it is. It's hard enough being a woman. It's hard enough experiencing that time of the month and still getting up to do something and still working, still trying to hustle and make your own money. So I feel we deserve to be celebrated every single day. So thank you so much, women, for coming on the show. You deserve a round of applause. And as our own special way of saying thank you, and we celebrate you, Knorr is, you're going on with gift boxes, Kotty Knorr. So yes, just a sample. Yours is in the car. Thank you for coming once again, and thank you for sharing all your experiences. I was truly inspired. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Why Women Roundtable Conversation. We are still celebrating International Women's Month. If you're a woman, that is more than enough reason to be celebrated. So don't let anybody tell you, what are you celebrating? You know what you're celebrating. We all know, and we celebrate you. I'm Tomike Adeoye, your host. I'll see you next week.
Bye.
I've been looking at you from across the way, and I think about you almost every day. Now I think that I must have a crush on you. I hope that you feel it too.
It's the natural ingredients and rich flavor of Knorr that brings people together.